Mob Entertainment just dropped a lore bombshell in the Poppy Playtime Orientation Notebook they just released. Now, I'll admit, on the surface, this book seems pretty lackluster when it comes to spilling secrets about the game. At least that's what I and many other theorists thought at first. It wasn't until I was replaying Chapter 1 I noticed something that I only could have noticed after reading through this notebook. And with this one piece of the puzzle in the Orientation Notebook, it is finally revealed who we play as in Poppy Playtime. To summarize the Orientation Notebook, it is a canonical book employees of Playtime Co. would, or should, be given to do their jobs. Think regular employee handbook. It starts off with a message from the founder, Elliot Ludwig, followed by the company's mission statement, "Innovation is key." But right away, we see handwritten notes on many of the pages left by a mysterious PW. In the first note, PW says they were a biologist hired to do research and development at Playtime Co., and upon receiving their orientation notebook, they noticed a lot of what goes on at the company was left out, so they started leaving notes to fill in the gaps. Now, most of these notes tell us things we already know from the games, like info about the Bigger Bodies initiative, incidents reports like when Huggy Wuggy escaped, progress reports of the different experiments that we've already seen or heard as a VHS tape in the game, including ones about the prototype, and there are even just notes on how to get around the factory with your grab pack. Though there is a progress report we haven't seen on Bobby Bear Hug that is actually incredibly heartbreaking, but we'll get to that later. We also get the super fun and not at all terrifying kids drawing of the, a crying child and catnaps with spooky text. Now, it's really cool we get to see artwork of the Bigger Bodies Bobby Bear Hug, and I love getting some of her backstory, but on their own, these tell us nothing. So where are they? There has to be secrets in here somewhere if I've learned anything from FNAF. And let me tell you, I haven't. I can't understand anything about that franchise. It's not until the final few pages where we find this. PW's calendar for the year 1995, with the most important date being... No, it's not the Hour of Joy on August 8th. We already know that date. It's this. PW's birthday, June 28th. And wouldn't you know it, we were told when the player character's birthday was in Chapter 2 by Bunzo Bunny.
I know when your birthday is, June 28th.
But is that it? We have the same birthday, so that automatically means we play as this PW? Well, not exactly, so let's keep going. Remember the slides in Chapter 2? The final name is missing, leading most of the community to assume it's ours. We have Elliot Ludwig, head of Playcare, Leif Pierre, head of Innovation, Stella Graber, head of the Game Station, and Eddie NNR, or Ritterman, head of Research, which leaves us being the head of Production? Well, yeah, actually, it would make sense that PW is head of production because he's the one actually producing the Bigger Bodies. We see this in his calendar with his surgeries. But it doesn't stop there. If we conclude we do in fact play as this PW from the notebook, a lot of things start to make sense. Now, as I said at the beginning of the video, I was replaying Chapter 1 and I noticed something interesting. In the final VHS tape we find before Poppy's room, we hear a scientist's final log during the Hour of Joy before the tape ends abruptly because he got eaten. But did he though? Listen to it again.
One breakthrough and I'll be back. We must forge onwards in the name of science, whether those who are beneath us understand it or not. End of...
The audio didn't get cut off by some monster eating us, it just cuts off. There is no final attack sound, no final scream, so what if the scientist actually managed to escape? He did say one breakthrough and I'll be back, which I think we all interpreted as he'll be brought back after death because of the dark themes of the game, but now I think he means he'll come back to the factory after getting out. The other two VHS tapes we hear from the scientist make sense as PW as well. In log 08502 from Chapter 2, he describes the prototype escaping with an alarm clock laser pointer, which is also a report PW taped inside of his notebook, so he had to have an intimate knowledge of this incident. Why else would he be taping it inside his own notebook? And in Chapter 3, on the VHS tape we find in Home Sweet Home, the scientist is observing a child when his friend interrupts asking if he's okay, to which he responds, he'll be back and better than ever. And he seems genuine and caring for these children. And guess what? PW also shows care for the children in the notebook. For example, in his calendar, we see when new orphans arrive, he pretends to be sick to miss meeting them because he knows what he'll have to do to them. He also schedules an entire day in the Portal Lounge after surgery because they're so tough on his mental health. He even planned on quitting on August 3rd. PW clearly did not love what was happening to the children at Playtime Co., which is why he's come back to the factory to right his wrongs. But that's not all. We know how to use the grab packs to get around the factory, and we know the codes to get through the restricted access doors because all of that information was provided to us in the orientation notebook that PW actually took the time to read and write down codes in. Mommy recognizes us, so we have to have been somebody who worked with the bigger bodies. PW worked intimately with the bigger bodies. Kissy Missy is so scared of us because we're the one who experimented on her, turning her into the bigger body. And if we do play as PW, the smiling critters' cardboard cutouts tell us a much darker story than we initially thought. Bubba Bubbaphant remembers us, but we never knew why until now. We were the one who experimented on him. That's why he associates us with screams. But Bobby Bear Hug and Dog Days are the most heartbreaking, given what we know now. Like I said earlier, we find a report on Bobby Bear Hug after becoming a bigger body. We failed to reconnect her sensors, so she couldn't see, feel, or hear anything. She couldn't see us, she couldn't hear us. So, to her, we no longer existed.
You won't leave me, will you?
We left her. And finally, Dog Day.
Go, go! As far as you can! Why are you just standing there? You can't be here. You can't stay.
This is Dog Day warning us to leave during the hour of joy. But that would mean betraying Catnap and the prototype. And what does Catnap do to heretics? But what do you think PW stands for? Let me know in the comments. My guess is Professor Willy. This is a joke. I have no idea what his name is. And I don't think the letters on the ground in the slide room are meant to tell us, to be honest. But anyway, if you like this video, it'd be cool if you subscribe to watch more of my content. I do theories on indie horror games, as well as react to spooky analog horror stuff, which I also voice act in sometimes. Thanks for watching. Bye!